The 6th title update of FC24 is live, and over the past few days I've been in the lab. I've been testing out all the settings and sliders to make this game as realistic as possible, and today's video, that's what I'll be showing you guys. This is the 6th video in this series from this year's game, and it seems like most of you guys are finding these videos useful, and if you continue to find them useful, please do drop a like on it and subscribe as well. Get involved and you'll never miss a future video. Now you'll see the gameplay in the background across all kinds of difficulties. You'll see us play on Legendary, you'll see us play on World Class, just for you guys to see what the sliders actually look like. But during that, I'll be giving you guys the settings, I'll be giving you guys my analysis and the things that I think have improved and things that I think have gotten worse in this update. Now, all in all, I think this is the most complicated update to change sliders for, because they have really changed up the gameplay, not just the mechanics of how the players move, but the way that the team moves, the way that the team defend, the way that the team attack as well. So it was quite tricky for me to figure out the settings for this one. So let's take a look at some of the pitch notes regarding the changes in gameplay. Firstly, we have reduced midfield congestion, and this is one thing that I noticed from the very beginning. There were more spaces within the midfield. Players weren't marking as tightly as they did before, and it was very, very alarming because you'd find all kinds of space where you really shouldn't, and it would make no sense why the defensive midfielder wasn't in position or the two central midfielders weren't in position, you know, and we really had to change that up. They also reduced sideline pressure on attackers, and I kind of like this one. It makes sense in a way to me, because it means when you're attacking the team and you're in a wide area, if the opposition doesn't deem you to be in a dangerous area where you can hurt them, they won't go out and exert themselves and try to press you or try to win the ball back. They'll wait for you to go into a dangerous area, go more infield, and then they'll put that pressure on you and try to win the ball back, which makes sense because you don't want to waste your energy defending somebody when they're not really gonna hurt you. However, if you have a very good crosser on your wing and you're on the touchline and they don't come out to press you or try to win the ball or try to block that cross, you could hurt opposition. So it's a bit of give and take there. They also decreased manual goalkeeper movement, speed, and positioning, and I'll be honest, this change is not really noticeable. You know, I tried it out, trying to move the goalkeeper into certain angles and into certain positions manually, and I didn't feel that they were too slow or anything, so it's a very minor change. And there are now more offensive-minded wing-backs in 3 and 5 at the back formations. Now, most people don't like 3 and 5 at the back formations, but I personally love them, and I am using a 3 at the back formation in my Nottingham Forest career mode. And I didn't feel like there was a change needed. You know, I didn't think that the wing backs were too slow to get forward or not really attacking as much as they needed to. I think that's all down to your instructions. If you're telling them to get forward, to get in behind, or potentially even get into the box for crosses, then they'll do exactly that. And if you also instruct them to get back, they'll do exactly that. You know, again, it's 3 at the back and 5 at the back, and the difference really is in 3 at the back formations, you have a left mid and a right mid who, if you instruct them to get back on the defense, they'll be wing backs. And in back 5 formations, you have a left wing back and right wing back who, if you instruct them to get forward, they'll also aid in the attack. So it's really down to you. I don't think this change was needed, but yeah, I did notice that the opposition wing backs, or even my own wing backs, get forward quite high and quite quickly. But yeah, I didn't think that was needed, because you can still do that either way. Do bear in mind that the sliders in this update are the exact same for the user and the AI. We're going to start off with sprint speed, and sprint speed is on 8. I didn't feel that there was a need to change it there, and neither is the acceleration. With the acceleration, never decrease it, increase it if you feel like your defenders are a bit too sluggish. You know, don't increase it too much, because then it's going to be ping pong and you're not really going to play football. So I'm keeping it on 50 because I like a bit of a struggle to get back and defend a player once they get past me. But you can increase it to 51 for both user and AI, or just for the AI if you want more of a challenge, or just for yourself if you are really struggling. So it's really up to you. Shot error remains on 65, but pass error goes up to 77. It was previously on 75, and I felt that the passing was both too quick and too easy. You'll notice later on that we've also decreased the pass speed. But yeah, 77 for me was just the right spot. If you want to make it more difficult, you can go up to 80. I tried 80, but I found it personally a bit too difficult to string passes together and to play first-time passes, even with high-quality players. But then again, if you want that crazy challenge, you can do that for yourself. The shot speed remains on 45, but the pass speed has been decreased. Like I said, it's been decreased down to 30. I tried out 28 and 29, but the simple ground passes were just way too slow. you basically just had to rely on driven ground passes. Even on 30, you'd rely on driven ground passes quite a lot, especially if you're passing the ball to a partner who's like quite far away and has like defenders around him. To avoid the ball getting intercepted, you have to rely on driven ground passes. But 30 also gives that challenge as well to be pinpoint with where you want the ball to go and the weight of pass as well. The injury frequency remains on 85, and I am absolutely loving it there. Getting just enough injuries in career mode. Not too many, not too little. You know, it also requires you to manage your squad properly, and injury severity is on 35 as well. I have a couple of 3-month injuries here and there, but not too many. You still have like your 5-day injuries, which is just a knock and the player misses like 1 game or something. But yeah, the injury stuff are mainly for those people who are really into career mode, which is what I personally play. The goalkeeping ability stays on 65, but the marking has gone up to a 78. This is to compensate for the spaces in the midfield, like I have mentioned, because you want the midfield to be compact, you want the midfield to be tight, and for you to be able to do anything productive in the midfield, your touch has to be spot on, right? Your passing has to be spot on because you want the other midfielders to be involved, to get stuck in, to try to win the ball back as many times as possible and as quickly as possible. So you have to increase that marking. Now, run frequency, it is on 10, and it has been on 10 throughout this whole year. And most people have been struggling with getting goals. I always get comments of like, how do I get more goals? You know, I'm just basically scraping away 1-0 and it's 0-0 and there aren't enough goals in my games. It's down to run frequency because your players and the AI's players aren't making that many runs. Now, I personally don't have that problem because I manually generate runs. You know, instructions become very important in this instance to tell your players to get in behind, and they will get in behind. Also, if they have a high attacking work rate, they'll make those runs more often. So I like that. And again, I like to manually generate my runs. You know, I want to tell my striker to make this run now, you know, make this run in this direction. Now, some people don't know how to do that. You know, it is a bit of an advanced level of attacking. So if you do want to get more goals and if you just want the AI to make runs for you, increase the run frequency. Line height 50, line length 30, and line width 47, and none of those have changed. Instead of changing these up to compensate for that space in the midfield, I instead increase the marking like we have previously discussed. Fullback positioning 50 and first touch control error is on 90. It has also been on 90 all year, but this time it's going to have more of an impact because of the increased marking, okay? That touch has to be on point because with the increased marking, these guys are on you, okay? Especially if you guys are crazy enough to increase it even above where we have set it, then yeah, the first touch control error is gonna be very, very vital. Now, those are the sliders. Now, as for the settings, here they are. I won't break down each setting individually. I've done that multiple times in the past. Just apply these settings, try it out, because believe me, they are just as important as the sliders, because if you don't apply them, your gameplay is not going to be like what you see on screen right now. So just pause the video, take your time, and make sure you apply them like I have here as well. I've also been asked multiple times which camera angle do I use, and I use the EA Sports game cam with 0 height, with 20 zoom, with 15 far side focus, and with 1 ball tracking speed. This is just perfect for me. So try it out if you want to have a similar camera angle to myself. And to those who are on the last gen consoles, I used to use broadcast camera angle with 0 height and 0 zoom. I haven't played the previous gen version of this game for a very long time, so you guys do let me know if that works for you. Now, as for the rules, of course, injuries are on, offsides are on, bookings are on, handballs are on, and referee strictness is on, very strict. I like this. You have a lot of cards, just like the modern game today. Let's be honest, man. Every game now has like 3 or 4 yellow cards. Every other game has like a red card. And that's what's going to happen with very strict refereeing, especially with the higher marking, especially with the players being very tight with each other and really trying to win that ball back and being very aggressive. Yeah, it's gonna be a war out there. Now, my half length is 6 minutes, okay? I think these sliders work best between 6 to 10 minutes. With 4-minute halves, that's where you're gonna really struggle to get goals because you are required to be more patient with your play, and 4 minutes just isn't enough in my opinion. And if you go higher than 10 minutes, I just don't know because I've never done that. Now, difficulty level. I use 3 difficulty levels. I use World Class, Legendary, and Ultimate, okay? I use 3 of them in different situations, again, in career mode. So, to those who want to simulate a home advantage kind of feel, here's what I'd suggest you do. I'd suggest you use World Class difficulty in home games in domestic competitions. I'd suggest Legendary difficulty in away games in domestic competitions. I'll also suggest Legendary difficulty in home games in European competitions and ultimate difficulty in away games in European competitions. I found that to be amazing. You know, being drawn at home to a team compared to being drawn away to a team really makes that difference. And yeah, you appreciate your home stadium much more. Trust me. Now our good old friend, player-based difficulty. This is something I've been an advocate for throughout this whole year. Up until now, it's finished. Stop. Don't even use this, bro. It's done. They have nerfed it. It's finished. Don't try this. Don't subject yourself to this misery. It's not worth it, okay? I used to use this especially on World Class difficulty. In the previous update, I mentioned how they have broken it on Legendary and Ultimate difficulties, whereas before that, it was just perfectly functional. Now, it's broken across the board. Don't use it. You're going to see those unrealistic dribbles where just the guy has no ankles and the ball's just being dribbled all over the place and you have no idea how to defend against them. Listen, if you enjoy the Ultimate Team kind of stuff, you know, do what your heart's desire. Do you? Just not for me. So there we are. There are all the sliders, all the settings, everything you will need to make your game look like the gameplay you are seeing on screen right now. Again, I'll emphasize, don't skip over the settings. Don't skip over the assistance levels. Use them as they are. Of course, there are a few things that are optional regarding like how you want to switch your players, regarding the type of defending you want to use. You want to use tactical, advanced, or legacy. Those are all optional, but things such as the pass assistance, the shot assistance, the manual jockeying, all these things are key because they are also tied into the sliders we have shown as well. So make sure you use them, and why not come around and check out our career modes? Yeah, we have a lot of fun over there, so check them out and let me know what you think. Of course, if you have any options, ask me in the comments. I always reply to comments, so feel free to do that. Let me know your thoughts about this update as well, what you're struggling with. If you want me to come back with any kind of video to address any specific problem, I'll have no problem in doing that. Please do drop a like on the video if you have found it useful, and subscribe as well. I'd greatly appreciate any support we can get. I've been Quickie Crusher. I'll see you guys next time.